Hello and welcome to my late night show, Joy of Working. I'm Chaya Srivatsa and I'm here to share with you my work experiences in different areas and the takeaway and what I learned from each one of them. Yesterday I told you about my finishing my assignment, a 3-month leave vacancy assignment with Femina, and I joined as a full-time lecturer with KC College. Now, KC College had two shifts, the morning shift and the afternoon shift. I also shared with you my experience as a moderator of group discussions for O&M, which was next door. Now, I was in the afternoon shift with KC College, so I had my whole morning free. I just walked across to Nariman Point, which was just behind my college, and looked around, and I liked the name of this building. It was called Tulsiani Chambers. I just walked in and I saw the list of all the offices in that building. Third floor, Arms Advertising. Sounded good. So I took the lift, went up to third floor to Arms Advertising, and asked the secretary, Catherine was her name. I said, "May I speak to the big boss here?" She said, "Yeah, you can go." And I walked in to Mr. Ramesh Khanna, who's the owner of this agency, and a very polite gentleman who stood up and, "What can I do for you?" I said, "I'm looking for a job as a part-time copywriter. Can you give me one?" He said, "All right. When can you join?" I said, "Tomorrow." He said, "Okay, how much do you want?" I gave him a particular figure and he said, "All right." I told him I can come from 10 to 1. He said, "Yes." And the next day, I was in Arms Advertising. Since he knew I worked with Femina, he let me handle the Times of India account, which was with Arms Advertising. So I had to write copy for all the Times of India publications, which meant I had to go quite often to the Times of India building to meet the editors to find out what their next issue was going to carry, which meant I could meet Mrs. Bimla Patil more often, which meant she gave me some assignments also. So you see how it goes? It snowballs one into another into another. So I worked for Arms Advertising for 3 years. Learned a lot more about copywriting, handling accounts, whatever. It was good. But I wasn't going to be a full-time person with advertising. I was not going to leave my teaching assignment. For me, that was my favorite. So there I was. Mornings, I would walk to Arms Advertising, finish, walk back home. The boys, of course, would carry their lunch, but my husband would come home for lunch. So we had lunch together. And then I would walk to the college, finish my classes there, and walk back. Why am I telling you this? Because otherwise I had no time for any fitness regime. This was my fitness regime. Walking. And I walked a lot. And that is how I was able to keep my fitness level at the level it should be. A lot of my friends would ask me, "How come you're so trim?" I said, "Because I walk." That's all. No gymming, no exercise, nothing. I walked and walked and walked. It helped me because I was anyway living in the center, Dhanraj Mahal was, this side was Churchgate and that side was Nariman Point. That was a great advantage for me. I made use of that advantage, and there I was with my freelance writing, with my full-time job as a lecturer, with my part-time job as an advertising copywriter, and a full-time job as mom and wife and homemaker. Don't forget that. All this is possible only if you are aware of how to manage your time. You've got to be very, very organized, very organized. I did have a full time maid in our quarters, but she only did all the cleaning and cutting and chopping and things like that. The main cooking I did myself. But my boys were very cooperative. They never threw their things here and there, and which I had to clean up and do this, do that. Nothing. Everyone did what they have to do. My husband was never fussy, but I washed his uniform myself. I never gave it to the bayi to wash it. His white uniform had to be white, and I took it upon myself to keep it white. But he ironed it himself because he was afraid I would give it a double crease. And if you get a double crease in your trouser, you're supposed to stand a beer for all those who noticed it. All kinds of little things. Life in the Navy was so good. I really enjoyed it because it also gave me the opportunity to do all these things. Because of the proximity, I didn't have to commute. And this is what I'd like to tell anybody who wants to do it. Please minimize your commute, because then you can maximize your work and maximize your enjoyment. Got it? Yes. So you see, fitness regime can be integrated into your work life. You can't say, oh, I had no time. We can make time. Time is our friend. And if you don't use it the way you should be using it, it just goes away and you can never get it back. Tomorrow I'll tell you another interesting, I won't say profession, another interesting activity I got into. Now don't say, did you have time to get into another activity? Yes, I had. You'll be amazed. I did have, and it was a very, very nice activity. I must share that with you. So be with me tomorrow to know more about joy of working in different ways. All right? Bye.